Okay, guys, welcome back to very lovely patch 9 for no. Whoa, God. Welcome back, guys, to patch 9.4 patch no rundown. As with every patch, I go through the patch, I talk about my thoughts about the patch, you guys stay entertained. So let's get right into it. You survive. I'll just see what this patch is about. I don't really know what they want to do with these patches. I still think at this moment, I'm kind of at the point where it comes to patch notes where I am not expecting anything and more just trying to figure out where they're gonna go. So uh, I'm just I'm not gonna do anything where I talk about the current state of the meta anymore, or I talk about what I feel like needs to be changed at the moment because I'm not quite sure where Riot wants to go in this particular season. So it doesn't matter what I want the game to look like. It more matters what Riot wants the game to look like and how it fits in that kind of aspect. So, anyways, let's just keep going. Congratulations, you survived last patch. Spiciness, you win nothing. Okay. Taking another pass and nerfing Urgot. First time nerfs to some other dominant champer dogs. We're giving a little love to a troll, a horse, and a screeching void monster. As a quick follow-up to Mark's Adams, we're making some minor adjustments to Essence Reaver and Kaisa. Recommended items, stop building strawberries at first, but otherwise have kept things mostly untouched. We're also kneecap the top line Frostmancy strat partway through last patch, but bears repeating here to given the notoriety the strategy attained. We're looking into more permanent solutions to both Spell Thief's Edge and coin lines, but for now we're carrying 9.3 mid-patch update forward. Got it, cool. Karthus. So this champ has been pretty prominent in a lot of high-low solo queue. It's shown up here and there in competitive games as well. I think with the new season having a lot of damage, and especially in solo queue games which are relatively scrappy, Karthus tends to do very, very well. I think they buffed him a little bit here and there, like they increased his Q damage a small amount, and over time, like Karthus, along with the new Dark Harvest, kind of taken over ever since Dark Harvest got released. And so what did they end up doing? They nerfed 5 damage, or 10 damage on single target. Now procs runes more consistently. So my real take on Karthus at the moment is I don't know if Karthus's problem is the fact that he's a strong laner or just an oppressive jungler. Now, if the statement is he's just an oppressive jungler, then but his laning still needs like his base damage and his Q to do well, then that would be pretty interesting. I don't necessarily know because I have not actually seen a mid lane like outside of Froggen, who plays a lot of mid lane Karthus, and I used to play a lot of mid lane Karthus. No, I don't really see many other people play Karthus a lot or at all. I think that this nerf is fine. It in some essence does nerf his jungle clear speed as well as somewhat of his laning. But I'm not necessarily sure if Karthus laning is so oppressive that he needs a nerf like this. It could have been something easy like you just nerf the damage that Karthus does to jungle minions by percentage, and you could have put that in the game if Karthus is being too good at the jungle. So, anyways, I think generally speaking, this is only really effective like the first level or two. So it matters a lot, or an okay amount in the jungle. It matters an okay amount for Karthus level 1-2 spike, but I think maybe I don't necessarily think this is gonna change Karthus from being good. Like, I think Karthus is gonna do still be pretty good, especially in the jungle. Let's keep going. Lucian, W cost increase, base damage decrease. That's hilarious. Alright, so recently Lucian has done this really weird build where he starts Doran's Ring and puts 3 points into W. And actually it allows Lucian to harass a lot safer. And it's like guaranteed damage because it spreads out in a pattern which is fairly undodgeable. So it allows Lucian to rapidly max out mana flow bank, trivializing the cost of swinging his abilities, forcing more of a trade-off if Lucian goes mana flow optimization route by sapping his resources faster, weakening strength of his all-in when he does. Okay, I think this is fine. Riot doesn't want it happening. I thought it was pretty cute. Rush's strat of maxing W on Lucian no longer works. Sorry, Rush. Q max, I get. To be honest, probably should be the way that the champion is played, but it's okay. I think this is all right. I think Lucian W is kind of a little weird. I do kind of agree that's not ideally how Lucian should be played. So we're okay with that. Rek'Sai, burrow Q now grants Fury. Unburrow Q now ends when burrowed for more than 1 second. Rek'Sai now burrows on respawn. Oh, that's a nice quality of life buff. Tremor Sense visuals brightened R is undodgeable. Really? The last one matters a lot. We take a quality of life past the Rek'Sai's ability, implementing smaller visual additions and kit revisions to make her help her feel better to play. Her Queen Draft would come out off cooldown earlier after clearing camps, as Rek'Sai no longer has to wait for the buff to expire before the cooldown starts. Cool. I like that the Fury bar now changes color, so you can very much see if it's here. 25 Fury to match Rek'Sai's other abilities. Effect now ends and goes on cooldown. Rek'Sai's burrow for more than 1 second. Okay. Tracking visuals brighten, really nice. Quality of life buff. Immediately responds. Enemies can only dodge Void Rush by dashing or blinking massive distances away from Rek'Sai. Wait, what does that mean? Oh, you get it. Apparently, it's 1,500 units from a rider in the Reddit thread. 1,000 to 15. Okay, that's impossible, actually. So it's pretty much undodgeable. The fact that you can't flash his ulti actually means so much, because Rek'Sai is pretty much guaranteed a finisher on every gank now. I think Rek'Sai alone, she's actually pretty strong. In a sense that I think that she already has a lot of power. A lot of people aren't playing her. The biggest thing about Rek'Sai is she's not very good going to mid late game unless you have a lead. But the way that she can kind of gank, a lot of her routes are really unique, and that she can almost always find leads in the sense that she clears really fast and has very strong ganking pressure. I think with the help of her new ulti, as well as a lot of quality of life buffs, that she didn't need any necessarily numbers buffs, but she's in a decent spot already and in a better spot now. I think these are really nice buffs. No numbers, but just makes her better to play. Sylas. Sylas has landed in a pretty good spot since release, but there's a few usability issues on Chain Lash we want to address. These fixes plus a small Kingslayer nerf will offer Sylas players a more meaningful choice between maxing Q or W first. Okay, so if you guys have seen my stream anytime in the last month, I've been spamming a lot of Sylas. And I went from maxing Q to maxing W on every build, against every champion, because W is the best ability in his kit, and Q I can't guarantee hitting more than the initial hit. And to be honest, it feels really weak just in general for Q, to the point where I don't even max it second a lot of times. I max E second. So I do like seeing more radius buffs. 30 more radius against champions and an indicator to show location and radius. It's okay. I think it's all right. Like, any kind of small buff helps, but it's not as big as I originally thought. Kingslayer 20 healing nerf, and it's only off the max rank. Icon board now glows when silence is within max healing threshold. Oh, this is so nice. Huge quality of life buff. I love it. I'll take this just for the 20 healing off, so I know. Kingslayer damage displays as a crit if target silence was within the bonus damage threshold. Oh, that's also cool too. Thank God. Like, visually, I wanted to be able to see if I was doing more damage or healing myself more. I think it's really helpful. Sylas no longer draws turret aggro with ceiling ultimate. Thank God. Okay, that's good. Hijack no longer fizzles if Sylas loses sight of his target before the cast finishes. Oh, I've had this happen maybe 1 in 100 games. So I'm not really, this doesn't super matter. Like 1 in 50 games. So I'm okay with this. I think that his healing is, the thing is, when I think about Sylas, I think that his best ability is his W, and I think that's his only ability. Like, when I look at his kit, his E is nice, his Q is kind of irrelevant most of the times, but his W is where the real power is, right? You're able to do a huge amount of damage and heal a huge amount. So essentially, like, it wins trades for you, because it's like you essentially do 1 full damage to them and heal yourself for 1 full damage amount. But outside of his W, none of his other abilities are really that powerful. And so a lot of people look at Sylas and like, his heal is broken. And it's like, well, yes, sometimes. But I also think that it looks especially broken because the rest of his kit isn't necessarily very good. Like outside his second best ability outside of his W is actually his passive, and I think that that should say something about the champion. I also think that there's a lot of like as Sylas gets more and more popular, like the champions that tend to be able to buy early executioners, stuff like Jace, other physical damage stuff, potentially Corki, can really deal with Sylas rather easily. And so he's a champion that I feel like is really abusing people, people, people's like inability to play around his low health bar. Like it's really easy to get baited as Sylas against Sylas, but I think he's good for sure. I don't know how good he is. At least mid lane, maybe top lane is super top tier. But rather than talking too much about Sylas, I think the nerfs are fine to his heal. It's not even to the early game; it's to the very late game. And I think 30 range is okay on Chain Lash. I might max the second more now. I don't think this means I'll max Q first ever. Still, I think W is still way too good. Going on Thresh. So for Worlds, we gave Thresh some buffs that allowed him to throw more hits, hook more often in the early game. But partially reverting these changes, he's proving too oppressive in lane. Okay. They increased the man. Oh wow, they nerfed the cooldown for 4 seconds, level 1. It's actually so much. Goes down to 4 and then it goes down 2 a level instead of Okay, they make it so you can't throw as many hooks as before. Larger windows to punish Thresh. I don't play much support, I don't play much bot lane, so I don't know exactly how oppressive Thresh is. It's hard for me to get really a good pulse on the power level Thresh. So I don't really want to comment on this. I don't know how good he is right now and whether or not he deserved these nerfs. Sorry. Very rarely do I say that, but that's something where like I actually have no idea. Urgot. Q cost increased, man. Shield. W shield decreased, cost increased early. We thought we put Urgi in a good place after the last nerfs in 9.2. Elastis continued to be an unstoppable force in lane with help from his low cost shields and canisters. Urgot players now have to choose between poking from range or shielding up to duel when spending the mana. Okay. So they're making it so his stuff costs a lot of mana. And they're making his bonus health decrease as well. Deserves it, dude. This champ is broken. Alright, get this out of my sight. I really hope that there's a Scion nerf alongside this, because like the two best top laners it seems right now is Urgot, Scion, and Scion for some way, shape, and form, right? Just like keeps not wanting to nerf this champion. Like if they just reverted his passive doubling buff that they gave him a while ago, he'd be a way more balanced champion. But for some reason, like Scion is just gotta stay. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the 9.3 Scion nerfs were enough. I think Scion is maybe the reason why I want Scion to get nerfed is because I think he's the best tank by a mile. Maybe other tanks need to be brought up, but we'll see. But yeah, these are pretty humongous Urgot nerfs. I don't think you'll see him get played much. I think the flexibility of him being shifted mid lane was part of the reason why he was also good. He has mainly chosen top lane. I see zero flexibility in mid lane shifting now, especially with these mana cost buffs. I think he's going to be pretty hard to play before he gets going, sometime around level 9, because of all these mana cost increases, and he's definitely going to be. You're going to be able to, I guess, play around him a lot easier, and I think that's good. That's smart. They nerfed a lot of his bonus health scaling, a lot of his shield. Okay. Yeah, that's a huge nerf. Yasuo. So we buffed Yasuo last mid-season when IE lost his critical strike chance and bonus crit chance. As of last patch, IE once again has crit strike chance and bonus crit damage, so reverting his mid-season buffs. So he's losing crit damage on his Q and AD. I think that's reasonable. I actually think Yasuo got a lot better with the new crit items, as usual, right? He exploits all crit items better than most AD carries. So they're just nerfing it because of that. Not a big deal. Zed. Okay. Attack speed growth increased, Q damage increased, W cast range increased, cooldown decreased, R no longer grants attack damage on kill. Okay. Huge stuff. Theory behind Zed's R death mark passive. Kill high AD threats and get stronger, breaks down in practice because the highest AD target is not often the most important threat for Zed to go after. After the same time buffs to make hunting the highest AD target correct at all times to make Zed entirely reliant on Reaper Shadows, preventing him finding success in other ways. Removing it from giving it power back to Zed in areas he's struggling in, namely a better early lane and more powerful late game split pushing. Okay. Increases attack speed growth by 1.2% a second, or a level. What does this mean? He gets 1.2, 10. About 20% attack speed. Okay, by level 18. That's okay, decent amount. Razor Shuriken buff. They buffed it by 10 flat, and what's 0.1 bonus AD. That's really nice, actually. Thing about Shuriken is it's pretty good by itself, but when you have multiple Shurikens hitting the same target, like the damage is much more than those small ones it looks like from here. Recast range, 1950. Wow. The cooldown got buffed as well, so you can cast W more times in lane. That's nice. It's really, really nice. Especially because Living Shadow is the last thing you max. So this is essentially you get 2 free seconds. And Living Shadow is what you need to play around when you're against Zed. Or when you're as Zed, it's how you mainly get your harass rotation in before all-inning. This is just a recast range. It's not the initial cast range. So it makes it... Realistically, the only time you're actually going to be able to use this is like when you're looking to juke and you run really far away from your shadow. But I mean, it's nice. It's just, for my opinion, it's like a quality of life buff. Removing the death mark is really weird to me. I actually kind of like the death mark. I think that when they talk about it's the highest AD target is not often the most important threat for Zed to go after, I think that that's okay. Like, I don't see that as a problem. I see his ulti as having additional benefit for killing AD threats, and that's okay. You know, I think it's not bad that champions have niches that you pick them into. And I think that it is okay to have like situations where it's not optimal to ulti, or you want to ulti someone, but it's more optimal for you to ulti someone else that's not the AD. I don't think that's a problem, to be honest. I'm surprised that Riot brings it up as like a really big problem. I think that probably I remember the old Zed. You used to go like Cleaver Bork a lot, and I think that maybe you might see more situations where split push builds are more effective on Zed. Certainly, Bork is something I'd probably want to try out with Zed immediately after the patch. I don't necessarily know how important the attack speed growth is. Attack speed certainly isn't an awful stat on Zed. I'm just curious enough to see if these changes tend to negate the extra AD gain from Deathmark. I'm not quite sure. I don't play enough Zed right now, but my initial thoughts are like, this is an okay change. I don't think Zed's an awful champion when he gets to late game, and I think that you're giving him decent amount of buffs in the 1 through 6, 1 through 9 area, and that's typically the hardest part for Zed's players to get through. And so if you're able to get buffs in there, it's okay to have like a weaker death mark later. I think that's okay. Conqueror. Oh boy, they actually added this. Okay, so I've been hearing about Conqueror for a while on my stream. I typically don't look at PBE. Conqueror at the moment on live, I think it's pretty bad. It's a thing that makes it so it's really hard to balance around tanks, as well as really hard to balance around champions, because some champions need Conqueror to do damage or additional damage to make them strong against certain things, and some champions super exploit Conqueror, makes it really hard to balance around. A good example of the latter is Aurelia. So you can't balance around Aurelia without the assumption that Conqueror is always on. And stuff you also balance like Jax, for instance, around Conqueror uptime being 100%. And I think that it's kind of really weird to be able to balance this kind of stuff into tanks, who tend to be the champions who most hit by stuff that does true damage. So what did they end up updating the Conqueror to? So they grants adaptive force on damage enemy champions. Okay. At max stats, converts a portion of damage versus champions to true damage. Okay. Heals for that amount. Okay. Was designed to help fighters in extended combat, but offered too much immediate power since users can bypass his initial delay. Correct. The window where opponents should have had the upper hand by staying in combat against minions, so Conqueror is prepped at all times. Correct. Removing this workaround, meaning users will actually have to grapple with its ramp up. They now gain Conqueror bonus damage steadily over the first few hits in combat, so it won't be completely hopeless when the fight breaks out. Conqueror gives adaptive force instead of AD go wild AP champions. Whew, okay. In terms of Conqueror's unlocked state, we've turned half of its true damage conversion into healing. Okay. This gives tanks who were previously melted by the conversion a reasonable shot at standing against Conqueror champions, while still giving fighters a tool to avoid being ground down in teamfights before reaching the enemy's backline. Okay, so let's go see what it did. That sounds, everything I'm reading right now sounds insane. So you only convert 10% of your damage, and you heal for that amount. Okay. Stacks up to 5 times to a max of 75. Grants 3 to 5 adaptive damage for 3 seconds. Much shorter on range champions by 5 seconds less. Melee champ 8 seconds is a long time. 3 seconds you're not really able to get that much. Damage over time effects and ongoing sources of damage can grant 1 stack every 5 seconds. Wow, that's actually super low. Every 5 seconds? So if I hit someone with Brand E, I get 2 charges of Conquer. So for me, I like that they're doing it's less true damage. Overall, I like that. I like that you can't build it up before combat. I think that that's really bad for the game because it means essentially you have to balance around 100% uptime. I think it's requiring more skill to be able to create more stacks. To do stuff is cool. I think it's making it less effective for range champions is also nice too. I'm sorry, Draven. I'm a little bit worried because of the healing. I think healing is always a dangerous thing to have in a rune. And I think that I'm also a little bit worried that it's a thing where it works on AP champions. So I know when I think about this, I think of stuff like Cassio, Rise, being able to do really, really well with this. I want to immediately, the first thing I want to do is I want to try Sylas with this. Looks really interesting. I do like that it's changed though. I think maybe it's a little overtuned. Like my initial thoughts are it's a little overtuned. That's a lot of extra adaptive force to give, and healing is always really dangerous. However, I think that this is a good step to take for Conqueror, mainly because you can't pre-prep it. And I think that that is a big deal. It gives you a lot more workaround to play around the champion. Okay. The rest of the stuff, I'm not sure. I have to play before I make any more statements. Essence Reaver. Attack damage increase cooldown reduction is now unique. A little weak after marksman items from last patch were buffing. Okay. That's fine. I don't really see much Essence Reaver. The last Essence Reaver I saw was actually on Tryndamere, who doesn't use mana regen. So I can kind of see where it's a little weak. Fair enough. 580, not going to break the bank on this. Decent buff, not a big deal. Mid-patch item updates. Oh, this is where they touch the spell thieves and coins, so you need to have a buddy. You can't run a top lane. Simple changes. Okay. Azir's relatively weak. They're doubling his attack speed growth. This is really big. Pretty big. Okay? Notice this is essentially what Riot gave Zed, right? But less. Riot took away Death Mark and said to split push, you can have this attack speed to split push better with like an okay buff to Q and NW. But essentially Azir gets this for free. So like I think Azir is a really interesting champion. He's a champion that you want to be using if you really need to beat down big ass front lines. So let's say you're playing against something like Sion Sedge. Not many champions can like bust through that health pool and resist, but Azir can. And so I think these are pretty nice buffs. I don't think they wanted to really go crazy with him. I think he should be filling the niche where it's like, look, if we get to mid late game and I'm against these like tanks, I'm the champion you won the game. These are pretty nice buffs, to be honest. Really nice buffs. I think Azir players should be relatively happy about this. He's still got a whatever early mid game, but I think that's the payoff for having like tremendously strong mid late game. Mega Gnar. Gnar's armor and MR increase during Mega Gnar's ability to get in the middle of the ruckus and duke it out when transformed. Oh, so wow, their growth is actually big. 1.5 and 2 per level. Yeah, okay, I think that's reasonable. They're not buffing the mini Gnar form, which has a lot of balance issues because mini Gnar could be. It's like a ranged uh like harasser. When Gnar's meta, no top laner has fun playing against Gnar. So especially because of what he can do in his mini form and then what he can also do in his mega form. I think that buffing his mega form resist is actually a good way to not make him lane oppressive, which is good. Hecarim, Q cost, E cooldown decrease. We're giving Hecarim some life performance boost in his early game to help us stir up the competition against others. 4 mana off, which is a decent amount actually, right? More than 10%, and then cooldown for this goes down 4 seconds. Wow, level 1. I think he maxed his second too, so it's. Ooh. I think Hecarim is really interesting. I don't play enough of this champion. The rank 1 in NA hit rank 1 with Hecarim. I don't know if he's still rank 1, but last time I saw he was. He's a champion that really exploits like movement speed effects. So Predator, for instance, Ghost. So he's really hard to balance because he gets I think he gets extra damage to move speed. Because of that, it makes it so like you have to balance every move speed item around Hecarim, and sometimes he just has the ability to one-shot you if he gets ahead, which is kind of not ideal. If I remember correctly, it's not what Riot really wants in the game. I think generally buffs this champion aren't bad. I don't think he's that good, but a champion you might have to look at in combination with other synergies, especially for items and runes. Something you just keep an eye on, Hecarim, just in general. Rengar, fix a bug where Q did more damage rank 1 than intended. Oh. What? What? It used to do 70 damage rank 1? Wow, that's a lot. It was empowered only? I mean, that's still a lot. But I mean, good bug fix, good stuff. Sivir, fix a bug where W done more damage than intended. Okay. Okay. Varus, fix a bug where blight stacks still. Oh, I saw this. It dealt a lot less damage than intended, like half the damage. This is good. Really nice bug fix. Stormrazor, remove Stormrazor from recommended items. We changed Stormrazor, stop building it first on Kaisa. Got it. Tryndamere, remove Spear Surgeon from recommended items. We thought Spear Surgeon would be an ace on Tryndamere. Turns out Ravenous Hydra is better. Build Ravenous Hydra. Oh, okay. Nunu and Willop, consume. Icon that glows when within a max healing threshold. Okay, nice quality of life buff. Trundle, W cost decreased, attack speed increased. We're helping Trundle cast more W more liberally and lane increasing his late game threat when opponents are in his domain. Wow, the mana cost is huge. The buff 20 off. It goes from 20 to 100. That's actually really, really nice. Like at some point, Trundle has to be good, right? If Sedge, for instance, ever takes off, Trundle is like the #1 Sedge counter. Just tears through Sedge comps because he can steal a huge amount of resist from a passive. So the better Sedge gets, the better Trundle gets, and this looks pretty good. At some point, Trundle's got to be pretty good. These buffs look pretty nice. First minion spawn. First minion spawn, top and bot waves are ghosted. Addresses some edge cases in unintuitive interactions that pro players use to interfere with. Oh, that's funny. You can't creep wave block the first minion on top and bot. Got it. Thanks, Adrian. ARF changes. Okay. AF Pora Plets. Okay. A lot of VFX stuff for Olaf. Okay. I have to actually see these in game to be able to really talk about them, but it's nice that they're updating them. I think that's cool. Ooh, Cat got new animations, run animations, nice. A lot of run animations. Lux, Quinn, Shen, cool. Ranked. Oh, okay. Run down some of the changes this patch as well as summary of stuff we've already done they might missed. Challenger opens on February 20th. That means it opens today. Okay. Once you earn the ranked emote, you'll upgrade as you complete. Got it. The animations for promoting new to now include your summoner name. Oh, sure. Hovering over your split now shows how you earn those points. Okay. Grandmaster open on. Oh, okay. That's it. I was kind of hoping to hear more. Rent is definitely an issue. Riot has to talk about it soon. Probably gonna be next patch. Oh wow, this is a huge. This is the only one that matters. I don't even need to read the rest. So Neeko right now, from what I understand, her best lane is not mid lane. She is a top lane split pusher that maxes W. With I think press the attack. So before, and I played with Heisendong, your W would just not proc if you had more AP than AD. Now it works again, so you can go stuff like Rageblade, Nashers, and not mess up your stupid damage on towers to split push. So this is a really, really big deal for people who are playing Neeko. I actually want to try Neeko top. I think it's probably really good. Oh, these Papercraft skins are sick. For people who haven't seen Papercraft and Nivea or Ninu, one of the best skin lines I've seen. Like A+. Really, really good job. This. Really, really cool. That kind of sums up all the changes. The biggest thing I saw that I liked was I liked the fact that they ended up buffing. Oh, changing. I like the change in Conqueror. It might be broken, but I think the small. If it's broken, it's broken. Hopefully they'll fix it fast enough to where it's not as big of a deal. I think that not being able to build up is a big deal. Zed thing, I'm not sure how good it is. I would want to say because the game is more early game focused, getting an easier early game is better for any champion right now. Even if you trade off other stuff, I think this is really interesting. Keep my eyes on this. Love the Urgot nerf. Thank God this champ is really, really good. Sylas changed, whatever. I'll still keep playing them. Rek'Sai buffs are really nice. I really like what they did with Rek'Sai. And Karthus nerfs, I was expecting more. Overall, kind of a lame patch. Okay, maybe lame was kind of a tame patch. Conqueror is a really big change. Affects a bunch of different champions. Potentially can affect a lot more because a lot of AP champions can use it. But it just seems very tame, to be honest. I expected more changes, especially like they have to. I'm not gonna go whine anymore. Let's move on to the champion update. So Kayle and Morgana. So before I go into this, let me just preface this by saying that I had known about what these champions look like and some of their abilities for a while now. Was originally shown this with a lot of other content creators a while back. Really, really cool. I liked their idea with both of these champions, especially the new Kayle. So this is not my first look ever, but I've not seen the numbers or any of the very specifics about the stuff. Cool. Two sisters are born from the aspect of justice. Kayle the righteous, wields celestial might, purges lands. Guilty, Morgana the fallen, refused to forsake her people. She bound her wings and received the shadows, paid by her sister's choice. Two sisters born from justice chose opposing paths. Cool. Light and dark. Easy peasy. Morgana update. Split between her mortal and celestial self. Visually updated to match her divine origin. Bound her wings by choice, and she's connected to a. Okay, what? She stayed on the ground. Kayle, more of an angel. Got it. Cool. So they show Kayle gameplay only. Okay, let's talk about Morgana. Okay, she's hot now. She has legs now. She has an open back. She's sexy. We get it. I like a lot of what she looks like. I think the best part visually of what I like about this champion is that her wings unfold when she ultis. And even though it didn't really say in the current situation or current thing, her ulti gets more move speed when you're running toward people who are unleashed. I think it's a really big quality of life buff. Really, really nice for Riot to add it in. Excellent. I mean, it says right here, but I mean, you don't know whatever. Don't worry about it. Cool. Let's keep going. It's Kayle. So, what is the new? Kayle was an actual rework. Morgana is just like a visual update, but Kayle is like a Jesus, they made a new champion kind of stuff. So Kayle's big thing, 4 forms of ascension, right? Attack speed grants stacking attack speed at max stacks. Kayle becomes exalted and gains movement speed toward enemies. Okay. A flame, when Kayle is exalted, her attacks launch flaming waves. Okay. Kayle evolves to the fully ranged champion. Okay. Kayle takes on her form, becoming permanently exalted. Her flames deal true damage. Okay, that's fucking nuts. So she turns from a melee champion into a... Wait. This is level 6. So... wow. It's a 5-hit passive, and she goes exalted. At level 16, she's permanently like this, and it does true damage. Pretty fucking crazy. Really cool concept to turn a champion, because the thing is, ranged champions are typically more lane impressive than melee champions. So it's cool to have a situation where a champion slowly turns into a ranged oppressive champion past the stage of the game where like it's really annoying to lane against. And so this is really, I thought, pretty cool of them thematically to work something like this. And in game, he conjures a portal which shoots a flaming blade at an enemy, shredding armor and MR, slowing her target. Oh, and MR? This attack explodes, so it's an AoE as well. Okay. Heals herself and an ally, giving both a significant burst of movement speed. Let me get it. Wait, AoE slow. 2-person heal? Is she gonna be a support again? Starfire Cellblade. Passive attacks deal bonus damage with skills with both her ability level and attack damage. Okay. Next basic auto is ranged and deals a portion of her missing health as bonus. Target's missing health as bonus magic damage. After ascending to a flame, this attack damages enemies near the target as well. So the passive is just her attacks do more based on AD and AP, okay? And her active gives her a next attack is ranged. And it does AoE. Cool. Just one auto attack though. Bestows invulnerability on herself or a target ally. While invulnerable, purifying swords fall in a circle around target, damaging people in an area. That's cool. That looks like it does a lot of damage. She can't auto attack during her ulti. Oh, that's actually a really big deal. Invulnerability is it means that generally speaking, she's probably a worse split pusher because she can't auto attack during her ulti. Wow, that's actually really interesting. Okay, Kayle gameplay. Look. So level 11 Kayle. Okay. She hit Q. She's running Luden's Kayle. Okay. No judgment. It actually looks like she... oh, that was pretty nice. She didn't really do any damage to Ornn, I'm gonna be honest. Morgana, okay. Okay. Alright, she's doing a decent amount of damage now. That looks like a lot of damage. That looks like a disgusting amount of damage, actually. You can cast and move ulti, okay. Rather than using Divine Judgment on yourself, consider protecting an ally. Give you huge power spikes with Divine Ascent. Great solo potential, you're strongest in team fights. Okay, so it looks like in general, Kayle is going to be a champion that scales really well into the end game. And realize that that's exactly how she is on live. So the way you should see Kayle on live is she gets Rage Blade, another like pretty much Rage Blade Nashers or something, and she's God. Like at the 3 item mark on the current live Kayle, she is monstrous. And so they kind of made her a similar, like, I guess, power levels to her live state. I think it's really interesting. Oh, and for some of you who didn't read some of the updates, they're changing how her armor looks to look a little bit more bulky and not so much skin tight hugging, I guess. I know there are a lot of complaints about that, but they're gonna go do that for you guys. So people who wanted that, go get a drink or something. Good job, guys. Oh, so one of the things I always have to give stuff like props to is that I think Riot artists are so good. Every time I see skin art, a splash art, I'm just like, what the? This is an insane art piece. Like all this stuff, this super cool. I saw this splash art already. The artwork is just like nuts, actually. Judgment Kill? Gothic. Oh, this is the same one as the old one. I think I've seen some. This one, okay, that's new. That's cool. The splashes are sick. Really, really nice. Morgana. Ooh, that's new. That's still the same. That's funny. Okay. All in all, I like what they're doing with the new Kayle. Generally speaking, Kayle isn't a champion I like to play, but maybe I might be interested now. I think generally speaking on live, she is very kind of somewhat boring. I like that they're multi-target threat for her Q, multi-target threat for her heal, and that E can splash as well. And there's a lot more nuance in her play, is what it looks like. Cool. I think that's it, guys. 44 minutes, not bad. I'm gonna go play some match.